All right, we're back. Had some technical difficulties, but we're back. We're live. And yeah, I think we're going over the page count on this one. And I just want to, it is a complete book. I don't want you to think like that's not. But this is, the reason there were so many pages is this is a special double-sized issue. So we're going to have, I think, we're probably looking at, some, again, like it's going to be over 20 pages, I think. So let's just come here and count them again. I'm going to hold the spine 1, 2, 3, and does this take me back? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So yeah, it's the 24 or 48 page, I should say, 48 page book. Again, with this bend here, it's not color breaking, but with that bend, it's going to drop the grade quite significantly. I'd say without that bend, this would be a solid 8.5. But with the bend, it's a 7.5. I would say it's a 7.5. But again, with the press, it could go back to an 8.5. And this is another book where, when we do when we do get to that pressing stage, this would definitely benefit. Because again, if you press that out, overall, it's a very high grade book. So, kind of went over that one. And then we're going to take a look at the second copy here. This one's actually doesn't have the bend. It's in a lot better shape, but we have this misrep here at the bottom. I'm going to show it right there. See the misrep there? That doesn't necessarily affect the grade, it just would prevent it from getting, like a near mint plus. So, I mean, this is the highest you could probably grade this because of that misrep is like a 9.4, maybe a 9.2. But yeah, this book is this is a high grade book. Sharp corners, spine is really clean. There's a couple like minor manufacturing defects. There's some fading there. But again, the spine is really clean on this one. So this is like, I think it's a 9. I would put it at a 9.4, 9.2, 9.4 on this copy. So I'm not going to count the pages on this one because, there's nothing that leads me to believe that there's anything missing or wrong with the book. So This is the second copy is actually the better copy. I kind of just arbitrarily I usually, when I have doubles, I put them in the same bag and board, and I put the nicer looking copy in front, the cover side, and I put the lower grade book in the back with the back cover showing. That's just how I like to do it. And this way it presents like one book where you're looking at the front and the back. So you just got to be very careful here as I re-engage it into its bag and board. Let's see here, do it this way. Does not want to cooperate here. There we go. All right, that worked. All right, so we have on the front here, very high grade book. Again, I'd put it a 9.4, 9.2, 9.4. The miswrap is what's going to prevent it from being anything higher. Really, really flawless book. This one doesn't even need to be pressed. This is just a really good book. Nothing on the spine, sharp corners. Again, very high grade book. The second copy, we're putting it at 7.5 with a good press. We can press out all that bend again and some of the spine ticks. This would also be like in an 8.5. It could improve to an 8.5. So yeah, just happy with both copies. This is just a great comic book from the era that I collected and read. Fall of the Mutants was a pretty good series with the Marauders and the near extinction or the near termination of the X-Men. Kept you on your toes. All right, so yeah, we've given grades to all our books here. We've gone 2.0, 6.0, 8.5. Sorry, 7.5. No, 9.4, 7.5. Okay. And I just want to write the grades down so we don't forget. And the last book we're going to do is Punisher. We're going to do Punisher. The reason we're doing Punisher is because, again, I feel like there's an opportunity to do some eraser action here. This is not a high grade book. I mean, yeah, I'd say it's a mid grade book. Well, it's going to be, I'll show you what the issue is and we'll come to a decision on what the grade should be. So on surface level, it looks like a really clean, flawless book. We got sharp corners, no creasing or anything of that nature. Really, the issues with this book are when you get in, and I'll just show you what it is. So on the top part here, you're going to see just a small tear here. This is what we'd call just a small, minor to small issue, but a tear is a tear. It's a spine split. But because it's again a small minor issue, it's going to drop the grade to probably an 8.5. I'm going to go 8.0 since it's a tear. A tear is, I would, even the smallest of tears, I would categorize it as really a moderate issue. So I'm going to drop it to like an 8.0. But outside of that, and then again, there's this little dirt scuffing. It's like some, I don't know if that's like a printing error, manufacturing error, but there's some darkness on that spine. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply some eraser to that. And just look at the back of the book here. This is a Big Time Collectibles exclusive or variant edition. Beautiful peach momoko Punisher there. And man, yeah, I didn't get a chance to really look in the book here, but we've got the free digital content offer is still attached, so it's complete. Got some beautiful Punisher artwork here. It's nice. Hand ninjas there. Oh, that's a nice. Punisher's just going to war here. All right, so like this one, we don't need to count the pages. It's all there. I think just one area that I want to kind of check out is I want to just see how, just when opening the cover, see how bad that split is. Again, it's very, you can't even see it there. So it's just along that outer part of the spine. You can try to get in focus here so you can see it. There it is. Just affecting the little cover of the page. Very minor split. So, that would lead me to believe it's 8.5 to an 8.0. Depending on the grader. So I'm the grader in this situation, so I'm going to give that very minor, very minor demerit, and we'll say we're going to put this grade at an 8.0 as is. And then if we can just, again, clean up that dinge there on the bottom, I think we'll be able to live with this book being an 8.0. So let's get the eraser here in action. I'm going to do real softly along the spine here. Just try to rub as much of that stuff off as we can. It looks like it's ink or dirt or something, but if after the first couple of passes it doesn't improve, we're not going to, we're already seeing it rub off, so yeah, it's having an effect. Yeah, it's looking a lot better. I'm sure you can see it as well. Just don't want to get that gloss on there. Gloss off. Boom. Yeah, it's coming off nice. There. So there you go. Here's a great example of, if you see that kind of dinge, I should have given it a wipe first, see if it would come off with the wipe. And in fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to apply just a little bit of our bleaching agent here. just gonna boom. Oh, it's looking so much better. It's like, yeah, it's off. There was this sort of like smudge, like a dark smudge mark there before, and now it's gone. So very pleased with that. We didn't spend a lot of time on it, but very marked improvement. Okay, and this was a trade with 22 Comics. If you're watching, bro, thanks for the book. And again, this has a very minor issue, but everything else is looking really, really good on this book. So yeah, I'm feeling good about the copy. The tear is really, really minor. So again, depending on your grader, an issue like that, it's really up to them to determine whether it's it's not negligible. It's definitely not minor because it's a tear. So we're talking whether well, I guess so. So we're determining whether it's minor or small because it's not moderate. I guess depending on the grader, they could go moderate. Because again, it is a tear. So it depends on how, your grader looks at a tear on modern books. And for me, given that it's so minuscule, it's I'd say it's like I want to say it's about a centimeter, maybe even less. It's like less than a centimeter split right along the cover. Barely noticeable. So in terms of its like impression on the book, you got to give it still high grade marks on the impression. So yeah, I could see I think I conservatively going to an 8.5 is being a little bit harsh. But again, I do look at tears as more major defects compared to like a spine tick or a bend or a corner crunch. But that's just me. Like every grader, I guess, or every collector is gonna, like, some people might hate writing, some people might hate corner crunches, some people might hate like color breaking spine ticks. But for me, yeah, I would put these kind of spine splits or little small tears in the book. That's just really unattractive. So, but yeah, it's barely noticeable. It's there in the corner. So I think I feel good in giving this an 8.0 grade. But yeah, it's definitely still a high grade book. So VF, it's going to be a VF copy, VF plus to VF, not a VF minus. But yeah, in that range. Now, again, if we got graded, I could see it also coming back at 9.0. It just kind of really depends on the grader, but on these modern books, I could see this, kind of slipping the system and maybe even getting a real high grade, like, again, like I said, CGC, they're automating a lot of their processes. You're not going to get a lot of human touch points, not a lot of time spent with like a real person grading the book. It's going to be a kind of a rush through kind of thing. I know CGC wants to make it seem like, and if you buy into that, that's you, but I'm of the impression that, these people are, cognizant of how much time they're spending on a book. So they're just going to do the quick visual tests. They're going to count the pages, make sure it's all there, and get it through queue, essentially, right? Uh, so yeah, an issue like that might completely get missed. You know, actually, I don't think that would get missed. I mean, there you have to do you have to do a better job than. I mean, that's pretty noticeable. To miss that is just meaning you're not doing the grading at all, right? And that this thing, there are instances of people missing stuff like that. So that's just, you got to chalk that up to human error or just rushed process or whatever. But um, again, there's a possibility that this could, a lot of people could miss that in grading. But then again, corners are really where they're going to be focused. They're going to be focused on the spine, the corners. I mean, those are just the first places you look. And then, of course, just kind of looking at the surface and seeing how much wear and tear is on the surface. So, yeah, I feel good about the 8.0 grade on this one. Feel like I'm being fair. And it obviously presents much higher. I'm just glad we're able to get that gunk off there on the spine. It looks so much cleaner. All right. Well, that is it for me. I kind of don't have much to talk about outside of what I've already addressed on the channel. But I'm enjoying doing these sessions, these grading sessions. What's up, Godzilla Sonic? How you doing, buddy? And well, he's not there anymore. I'm really enjoying doing these sessions, and it's kind of like, in terms of the channel stuff, like I said, I'm not picking up books at the. I was picking up a lot of books last year, but it was kind of like I'd hit a period where I'm just picking up a lot of books, and then I'd hit a lull where I'm not doing anything. So I'm sorry for the inconsistency, because I know there are channels where it's new comic book day. They go to the comic book shop, they pick up their books, they talk about them, they go over their haul. There are collectors that are going out there every weekend and spending whatever budget they have allotted to buying books, which I really envy and wish I could do. But as you know, like, my wife's not keen on this she knows I love collecting books, and so she's kind of tolerating it. But yeah, in terms of spending on the books, I think we're now at a point where, like, she's like, look, um, you don't have space, so just stop, unless you sell stuff or get rid of stuff, or you know um, it's kind of where we're at. We just got to be very selective. First of all, we got to get rid of some of these overflow books, which again, I'm hoping to sell some of them or trade them locally. And then once we have those books gone, I've got a bit of wiggle room I actually made more space for my filing cabinet. We're able to get another big, good stack of books in the middle drawer.
But yeah, the bottom drawer has a little bit more space in each row for, I'd say, 4 to 5 more books. So we're talking about maybe 20 more books that can fit in the bottom row. And so when we get rid of these overflow books, as we're picking stuff up, we're probably going to create a new overflow box, which is going to be really tough because right now what I have in that bottom drawer is really all stuff I want to keep and stuff I love. Even in the overflow box I have now, I've had to put, um, stuff I really like that I was like focused on collecting, but now I've had to kind of recalibrate what I really want to add. Um, and I'm fine with that. I think, you know, again, with the space issue, we have an opportunity to have a good, you know, 2,000 books in the collection. Okay. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but 2,000 books is a sizable collection. So how we manage that space is going to evolve. And what I really want to avoid is paying for books that we won't be able to gain that value or gain something equivalent in return if we just do decide, okay, this is no longer a book I need or want in my collection. Some of my favorite books in the collection are just dollar bin books. They're not worth a lot. Um, you know, this is a great example of something that's, man, it does look a lot better after the eraser session. I'm like looking at it now and it's just, before it looked rather dingy. It's just looking a lot wider. And I know you probably can't tell, but it's just popping now. Like before, it looked kind of dull. It's really popping now. Just glad I'm just I think these like small eraser session stuff. It's just gonna, if we can just get books like this looking better. This one had tremendous, there was like a dark splotch there. It's completely gone now. So yeah, I'm really like, so back to my point. It's like I used to pick up books and I'd go over the hall with you guys, and you know, um, I was really focused on showing you like the value I picked up, um, and of course, in the value in the context of what I collect. Um, in the beginning of the channel, I was just picking up a lot of random stuff that caught my eye, but like, oh, nice, As I was figuring out, okay, there's really stuff I really like and want, and then there's like peripheral stuff that just like, wow, this is cool in the moment. And what we're trying to minimize now is picking up that stuff in the moment. Um, we're not always successful, but we're cognizant of it and we're doing a lot less of that now. So the focus of what we pick up has been fine tuned. And I'm just hoping to continue that. I'm just hoping to practice it, put it into practice, and make it work. Now, this is a beautiful book. Love it. It's yeah, just everything about this book is great. We got a real classic George Perez book. This is sort of the post crisis era. Uh, so all kinds of good stuff in this book. Oh, not post. This is pre-crisis. right? Yeah. So the only issue with picking up books now is that we're just not doing it at the pace to build content for the channel, which was fine. Like I don't have to make the channel about picking up books constantly. We've obviously hit, so there was a point where we were picking up books, that's fine. But then now we've hit a point where, again, it's a space issue. We just can't do it. Doesn't make financial sense to keep doing that. So we're pivoting. And where we are at right now is we're really enjoying my collection. I think the best way to enjoy it is the best way to enjoy it is just to start reading them and, kind of reliving all the nostalgia and doing that. But, for me, I'm a big, as you can see, I care about these books, so I'm very careful with how I treat them. So I'm not the kind of person to like open them up and start reading them. I will just download. If I really want to read the book, I'll download it and read the digital copy of it. So that's sort of the next, I guess, stage where I can just really start enjoying them. But I can't really do that with you. I can't like download a digital copy and like sit there and read it to you guys. No, I don't want to do anything like that. So where I'm really leaning is, again, what we just did these past couple of sessions, where we just pick books out, especially books where I think, like an eraser session would really improve I do see a market improvement on the white areas of this book. Like all we did was erase just through this top section here and this area here, but it just looks, and we give it a nice wipe down, obviously that helps a lot as well. But it just looks a lot more vibrant in the white areas than before. It was looking rather dingy before. It just looks cleaner. Same for this book. So I just, again, I'm going to kind of pick out a selection of books and we're going to grade them. We're going to try to improve, again, the clean, not with a press or anything like that, but do everything we can to kind of get, especially the older books, just get the dust, dinge, white areas, do a little erasing, count pages, maybe try to, unbend corners or bent pages interior. We're just going to do that kind of due diligence and really put a grade on the book that we feel comfortable with. So that's what's really cool about this whole process. We're grading our books, and we're trying to give it as accurate of a grade as possible, meaning we're looking at the entire book, being very, exhaustive. I know I didn't count the pages on this book, and the modern book, but that I could just tell by flipping through that wasn't going to be an issue. But yeah, I think I did a pretty good, thorough job of taking the book out, looking at it from all different angles, and identifying the problem areas of the book. And it's an exercise that takes time. And I think what I'm hoping to convey or show people through this, it may not be the most entertaining thing, but it's part of my journey now. And rather than doing this by myself, sitting in a room doing it by myself. I'm just going to flip the camera on and do it with you guys. And hopefully, I know there wasn't a lot of talking in this particular video, but I always kind of save the rambling for the the latter part. So yeah, I moving forward, we're not going to focus on CGC stuff unless there's an update to the situation. And as of now, I'm not keeping up with it. I'm not keeping up with it all that much right now, but as of now, there's not really anything there's there to update. So, and really what's prompted me to do the grading and kind of do the due diligence is to just better know what I have, better understand the book I have. So, a great example was like, I knew this had a spine tear in it, but now I kind of, after looking at it, I have a really better understanding of what that issue is, and I'm confident to really put it as a minor issue. It's not negligible. It's definitely minor, but we're talking like it's like half a centimeter little tear right at the edge of the book. So I think giving it an 8.0 grade is fair, given that. Yeah, beautiful peach mocha art there. This is a book I think, we definitely did our best to kind of, we actually did do some erasing on this book on the back. Gave it a nice thorough wipe down here. And we attached some glue here and got that edge that was sticking up to stick. So I'm just, overall, there's not, this is still a low grade book at the end of the day, 2.0. Amy's beloved comic book. And I just, this is just a book I really love. The time has come to destroy the boy legionnaires. My victim will be Superboy. Great Krypton, the girl legionnaires are plotting against us, boys. How will they attack and when? He's got a destroying all these statues. It's really quite funny. Just love stuff like that. All right, well, that is that. We're not going to do a 4-hour marathon like we did yesterday, but I'm really looking forward to doing this on the weekends or just whenever I feel like hopping on. Just grab some books from my collection and kind of catalog all the grading. And I think it's going to just be a really, really grand, fun time. So thanks for hanging out and watching. Hopefully, hopefully this gets more community members to do what I'm doing. Just whether you do it on camera or not, but just kind of have a better understanding of, just get comfortable with creating, first of all. Get comfortable with getting your books out, looking at it, getting used to the handling, and like for me, sometimes like just getting them back in the bag of boards is still a challenge. But never, knock on wood, I've never had a tape accident or tear incident, or we've had a couple, corner crease issues, putting back in the bagging board, as we all have, I'm sure. But nothing major on a book yet. So really knock on wood there. I don't want that ever to really happen. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. So we got a lot of books to go through, and just doing like 3 or 4 of these a night, I think it's gonna be fun for me. So if it's fun for you, I really am glad. But again, the whole, what I want to really kind of get people to do is do their due diligence, get comfortable with grading. We all do it. We all grade. So this idea that I'm not confident in my grading, I can't do it. I need other people to do it for me. That's really, it's really not an excuse. You've got resources, you got people in the community, you really got, ultimately you have to do the due diligence. But should it be like a situation where you're like, I'm still not sure, you can always take the book to a show or to your shop and just ask them, hey, I've got this book, I think it's this grade, would you mind looking at the book and giving me your thoughts? Or doing it virtually with other collectors. It's like, and that's why I like doing these videos. Like I want you guys to also chime in. You're seeing me look at the book and describe what I think are the issues. You all have your standards or opinions on what you think the grade is. Leave them in the comments, please. That's helpful to me. Whether I agree with you or not, having that sort of third-party objective take on it gives me another thing to think about and just consider. Like, okay, that's fair, or I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. But again, having that feedback and input is helpful on determining such a subjective thing as grading. Because again, these what you consider minor, moderate, small, major, all these things, and when you consider, like, that doesn't look good, this looks good, like just the perception or the appearance of a book, that's differs with everyone as well. I really, the reason I pick up a lot of these like low grade books is because it just looks great. And so that's really the first thing that determines whether, especially on the older books, like it's what determines whether I get the book or not. Now, they're always low grade. So, we know that going in. It's just, is it within my standard for like the visual test of, okay, that's acceptable. And as long as it does that, like, it's great. Yeah, I don't mind the Amy there. I don't mind the Amy on a book like this. All right, well, I had so much fun. I'm going to end this video. We're going to get some more books, and I'm going to come right back and go live again. So we'll just get another little session going. All right. Peace out. Talk to you soon.